Hey everyone, welcome to the Tellor community call, July 20th, 2021. As you can
Not
see,
as
there's
many
not
squares today.
many squares today. So most of Tellor, well, not most of Tellor, I think like half is out in Paris this week at ECC. Hopefully they're doing a good job.
It's
Spreading the
amazing
word.
that we could have 5 or 6 people out in Paris, and it's not even most of Tellor.
Yeah, it's super cool. So as most of you guys know, we've been expanding the team, and it's good. Now we can actually really make a presence at some of these places. Like I
Yeah,
remember, the other conferences, whenever it would just be like Mike and I or Brenda and I, like you would have to like split up to go to all the events, and there would be all these rooms, and now it's like when you have like 6, 7 people there, it's easy to split up, and you actually don't have to go alone,
hmm
which is nice. So yeah, hopefully we do a good job meeting some people. We're a generally pretty friendly and outgoing team. So I think we do well usually at conferences as far as like we usually have like a lot of engagement afterwards. So I think this one, we'll see if Brenda can keep it up.
and we just heard that Tim is attending as we speak the Chainlink after party, uh, wearing his Tellor shirt. So I can't wait to check in with him to see how that went.
Tim's like one of the most non-threatening guys I've ever met though. So I don't think like you can't really be mean to him. Like it's like, yeah,
Exactly.
it should be good. Like I think like Spuddy or I might people might
Get in
be angry
arguments.
at it.
Tim's not gonna argue back. He's just gonna want to
Yeah.
be curious and talk. But that's
So
good.
it's super good. Yeah, I think it's a good strategy. Anyway, not a whole lot going on this week. We purposely didn't schedule a whole lot, just to kind of give you guys an update on where we're at on some things. Development wise, we're still undergoing Tellor X. We're just about done with kind of the function tests, and then we'll be doing a lot of the end-to-end tests and making sure that the current users of Tellor won't have to do anything to change. But that's moving along really nicely. It's going to be a code base that I personally am very, very proud of. Other things with the fellowship. So the fellowship is up and live now on Polygon. So we're providing prices for Ricochet exchange. We can send you guys. It's really kind of a proof of concept at the moment, and we're working to help expand some user. It's dollar cost averaging via Sushi Swap. So it's a super cool project. Glad to be a part of it, and it's been fun kind of working on Polygon and getting that up and running. So more to come on that. But yeah, I think that's about it. Mike, any announcements on your end, or we can get into the discussion?
I could probably just mention that we're going to be working with Reimagine again over the next couple months. So look forward to that. For those of you guys that paid attention to the panels and our participation with the previous Reimagine events, expect more of that coming. At least 2 more events with them to help round out the year. I can imagine they're going to do at least 4 more events this year. And so our plan is to continue to be a part of that. We saw great engagement with our last 2 months working with them, and we thought that the panels were awesome. We got great feedback from them. And it's just great content. It was a great platform for us to be involved in. Yeah, I think I had something else and it'll pop in my head. I'll just chime in a second. But yeah, we can just continue.
Cool. Part of so what we wanted to discuss today was just how to get more community engagement. We have these calls and they're good. But we're generally lacking, I would say, on some of the discussions just in the channels. Our Discord has some, the Telegram, it's mainly price talk at this point. I think, correct me if I'm wrong. And how do we have a lot of people who watch these calls kind of on YouTube. How do we get more engagement, more people joining these calls? And one of our ideas was that we're probably going to move to doing here shortly is we're going to move all of our internal dev discussions, especially as we're growing the team, we're going to just move those into the public sphere. We're going to we're even thinking, you guys can let us know, we're thinking about kind of sunsetting a lot of the Telegram support. We'll be moving most of the discussions over to Discord. The Telegram's just getting too big to sort of have any sort of meaningful aspect there. But we want maybe move over to the Discord and have just more discussion. So, that way you guys can see what we're working on. As we have, we have a Tellor Devs channel that was originally it was Brenda and I a year ago. And now it's, we've hired 7 people and now it's very active. There's a whole lot of people involved, but you guys don't see that, and we want you to. We want you guys to be able to see it, be able to jump in, be able to help out, and how do we best do that? Because I guess Mike and I were talking yesterday. We're like, okay, in 5 years, where do we see Tellor? And the ideal vision is well, it's completely community run, similar to an Ethereum, the internal devs, there aren't, maybe you guys have internal discussions about, what should we do at the office, and little things, where should we go to lunch? But other than that, everything development wise should be in the public sphere. The vast majority of the developers should not be hired by the core team. And that's what we want to move to. And I don't think there's really a good time ever to do it or to let go control, but we want to actively push and actively reach out. So Mike, comments?
Yeah, I think, we've heard a lot of people ask for things like roadmaps, or can you tell us more about what you're working on? And of course, we have these weekly videos that we do, but sometimes there's a lot of work that happens intra-week on the same thing. And so there's not much of an update, but there's a lot going on, and allowing you guys to have a window, not just a window into watching that, but actually actively participating. If you start to notice that hey, I can contribute to this discussion between these devs, I know this stuff, have you guys thought about X? By doing this, it gives you guys the opportunity, it gives the community the opportunity to sort of step in. And I think in addition to the devs thing, we could also, because we also have a Tellor creative internal group, a Tellor marketing and Tellor biz dev group. I mean, these are things that we could start opening up to become a larger conversation where you guys get involved in it. And I think it's a really cool idea. I think, like Nick was saying, how do we get to the ideal spot in 5 years? Well, at some point we just have to hand you guys the baton, so to speak, and say, hey, you have the opportunity now to influence this stuff directly with us on a day-to-day basis. Have at it, and just let it grow slowly from there. You can imagine it'll be slow at first. Maybe people will be too shy to chime in, but then one guy will, and then it'll grow from there. So let us know what you guys think. I also want to mention that sunsetting the Telegram, won't mean deleting the Telegram. I think some people obviously might say, well, don't get rid of the Telegram. It's still important. There's plenty of users that prefer Telegram over Discord, et cetera, et cetera. I think what we're talking about is removing making them official, handing them over to the community, so to speak, so that they can be self-moderated. You guys can do what you want with them. We can still come into the Telegram from time to time, and we could do, we can respond to questions in there still. We're still going to have Telegram as individuals on the team, but no longer focusing on moderating them in an official capacity. Just sort of consolidating everything in Discord, I think is going to be really helpful for just the.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we had talked a little bit, moving to a forum type thing,
Yeah.
MakerDAO does the forums, Uniswap does the forums. We can, those are more long form discussion. Maybe there's a place there, maybe not. Yeah, so we'll just have to play around with it, I guess. Spuddy, I mean, you've been around a bunch of different communities. What do you think works as far as making this happen?
I think it's a great idea to start talking in the Discord channels, for sure. Can anybody hear me?
Yep.
Okay. We have a lot of cool conversations that are off camera, so to speak. And the more people who get to know us, it can really help to grow the community, I think. The way other communities do it, every community has their own personality for sure. Some of us are more outgoing than others. Developers are just as a subset of people, they just tend to be less outgoing and they don't say as much in public like they do. So, but a lot of the conversations that we have are great. It would be great if the community could see them, and there's no reason they should. Like, it's nothing. It's going to be cool.
Because we tell you guys, we always tell you guys about everything we're working on retrospectively or right after we have our internal discussion, and it
would make my job a lot easier because I have to just like, sometimes I have to decide, since we've talked about it in the team channel, like, can I talk about it in the Telegram channel or not? Like, so it'll make my thought process a lot easier.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think ideally what we want is everything to be in the public sphere. You know, there shouldn't be anything that's kind of behind closed doors about what we're working on. It should all be out there. So yeah, I mean, how this switch
takes some getting used to, like you were saying, some people don't like the idea of talking publicly, period, let alone just like their internal reactions or interactions with their coworkers being so visible. But, you know, keep in mind, we're all going to be able to still like privately message each other. But if we make the standard of how we sort of, you know, talk with each other about, you know, like, hey, help me with this one pull request or whatever it is you guys are talking about in the dev channel, just making that public as a standard format. I think we'll all get used to it.
Even marketing and stuff, that stuff too, we'll want to push it. And I mean, like, that's, I don't know, Spuddy, like, whenever you look at other channels, like I've seen some that do it, some that don't. Like, what's your thoughts on, you know, like every once in a while I'll post a music video or something like, hey guys, here's an album I found. You guys want to listen to this one? Like, is that a good thing to post in these, you know, public discords, or is that, you know, like a faux pas that takes away from the professionalism of it?
I think it's cool. I think when we put ourselves out there a little bit more, people will like that.
Mm-hmm. I think the danger, something we have to keep in mind is to not lose sight of it. I think that people will actually like the approachableness of this. And
well, it's always a tough balance because you want to be approachable and everything like that, but you don't want to seem like a non-serious team.
We still want to be professional.
Yes.
Yeah, but
so
if we made all our Telegram right now fully public as is, like the history, I would not be afraid that people would think we're not professional, because there's a lot of work that gets done, but we also like music a lot and we joke around. You know? So you're going to have naysayers that are just going to have a bad opinion of our style and our culture. And we just have to be confident in the authenticity of the way we like to be.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, I guess you could look at like an Ethereum, and an Ethereum definitely has like a less professional, you know, vibe than some, especially the old, like, you know, whenever it was like the old layer twos that had like more of the business, you know, we're going after the banks and the settlement layer and everything like that. And then Ethereum was like, you know, unicorns and rainbows and furries and stuff like that. So
yeah,
people ask questions sometimes that are just like, is the team working on the project still? You know,
yes.
Is after the market crash, people would send me direct messages like, hey, is the Tellor team, is this going to keep going? Like, does the team have money, and that, like, are they still working and stuff? So it eliminate questions like that, I think.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, probably not, but
no, it wouldn't. No, not entirely.
They won't pay attention.
Like, we would literally have a whole conversation about developing Tellor X, and they'd be like, "Is Tellor X still under development, guys?" And you'd be like,
"Yeah."
Sean, what are your thoughts, Chris?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think having the most open community that we can is a good thing, and especially like on the marketing side, which I'm focused on, having just a place to reference everything, like sort of that hub or that place. So the website or any other digital property that we have. We love like the collaboration and the ideas that come from the community. And we want to build that as openly as possible. I think it's great for Tellor, for just the voice of Tellor to have a lot of good community input. And we're working on this, and so I think over the next couple of weeks we can have some good specific discussions around that from the community.
Chris?
Yeah, sure. I don't really have a lot of other thoughts to add, but I know that like a huge buzz term in like the startup world is like building in public. So constantly sharing your achievements, and constantly kind of updating your users or potential users on the progress of your product. And so even though what we share in the public sphere might not immediately be like decisions about the development, it could be cool to more incrementally update people who are interested on the development side on, okay, here's where Tellor X is, here's where our testing is going. So even outside of the community calls. So I don't know. I think that could be an interesting idea to explore, because it's almost like they get to see, kind of like the start to finish, but they also get to have a lot of feedback as we develop whatever we do. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, there's like, if you guys know, like Ray Dalio, he's a famous asset manager. Like he has his strategy, like, they record every meeting, and like they try to, and for knowledge sharing, like everything should be open to the internal team and sharing. And he's a big fan of that. And like, he pushes his, like, I forget even what it's called. I read the book a long time ago. Like his managerial approach for sharing everything. And like, I don't want it to be like as douchebaggy as Ray Dalio, just because, like those finance guys always rub me the wrong way. But you want it, like, it's like, we're being open because like it's an open source project. We don't actually want to run it in the long run. We want it to be sort of run by everyone. So like, how do we get there? And sharing is the way to go. And having this general community and making sure that everybody is sort of on board with the plan and moving forward. And it's like, it shouldn't be like more complicated than that, I don't think. It should just be like, of course, this is what we're going to do. This is the end goal. So we're moving there. So
I mean, if Tellor was a city or something like that, we would have, and like we had like a public office or an office that's like a brick and mortar place, we would have an open door policy. We would make it large and open with big windows, and we'd want people to just come in and sit down and just listen in on the conversations that are happening and chime in if you want. And so we're going to try to recreate that in a digital way as best we can.
Cool. So yeah, that's some of the fun stuff you guys can look forward to. Whoever's watching the call, definitely reach out and try and get involved more. Mike, any questions today?
We have Uno. Crap, I just got signed out.
In other news, we're still trying to figure out ways to give out t-shirts.
Yes.
But if you're interested in buying one at cost, just shoot one of us a DM. Reach out. Like,
they're really awesome. They're really nice.
Super nice.
High quality. They're not like your typical crap swag shirt that's like the cheapest one you can get. They're lovely shirts. Yep, just DM us. And
but you have to, if you do that, you also promise to send us a picture wearing one. So
yes,
we want to see you wearing it out in public. That's why we're giving these things away, basically. So
we've had a couple people do that, and it's always just really cool.
Yes.
Especially if you guys are international. Just it's kind of neat. All right, one question is, can there by chance is not English. Is there, I'm just going to translate this in my head. Is there a chance of the team going to other YouTube channels and doing interviews about Tellor? Yeah, absolutely. We've done them in the past. We haven't done one in a long time. Other than, well, we just did these panels, but it's not, your typical YouTuber for those. I think, let us know if you guys have any particular, person that you think you would love to have interview us, and put us in contact with them, or let us know who we should. There's a ton of, I feel like it's hard to keep track of all the YouTube crypto influencers. And in addition to that, it's not really our audience. Usually these we like to keep the conversation much more in depth and tech focused, and not so much your typical, crypto price talk, or, most of these YouTubers, they thrive off of the hype cycle. And so there's really not that many options out there for the type of conversation we want to have. That said, if there's somebody in our blind spot that we don't know of, that we should know of, let me know, let Sean know. And we'll reach out. I think it could be use that. So,
And don't be like my dad, who's like, you guys should try and get on Joe Rogan sometime. It's like, thanks, Dad. We'll get right on that.
yep.
So, we want usually crypto focused, tech focused, smaller, more nuanced audience is kind of our sweet spot. So go after that. But if you have a personal connection to Joe Rogan, or somebody who's a giant podcaster can get us on, by all means, reach out.
Yep.
So
leading into Tellor X's launch, like, our intention is to explore as many options as we can to have conversations about the new version of Tellor that'll be coming out. And so we might weight our efforts to the fourth quarter of this year in that regard. But that said, like, we need we're actively sort of looking for those opportunities now, including YouTube interviews. So yeah, please let me know.
awesome. Well, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yep.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys next week.
Talk. Bye.